As I'm transitioning into this new realistic approach to life, I wanted to reflect on the things that I've learned from my previous phase in life, which was more conceptual. And I just wanted to talk about 3 things today that I've learned specifically. Let's get right into it. The first thing I wanted to talk about is self-compassion. I feel like it's a big thing that I've learned this year. I would be so hard on myself for not being in alignment. Mentally, I would push the sense of urgency to be perfect so that I can get to where I want to go faster. And it's unrealistic because, yes, I can switch mindsets, but my system, my nervous system, my habits, my routines, they're still going to stick around and they're not going to change in an instant. And once I learned that, like, my brain, my body takes time to adjust to change, I'm allowed to be more patient and compassionate with whenever I slip up or when I guess I don't really show up on my part or I'm setting these high expectations for myself. I'm more able to meet myself halfway. And I feel like it's important because I don't know, you just have to be on your own team. And regarding like self-compassion and being patient, nervous system was a big point. And I feel like everyone's talking about nervous system now. I like to think of reprogramming nervous system as like training an animal. I use the example of a horse. I got it from a book. I mentioned it in one of my previous videos, but it's not like you can make up a contract, sign it, and then your body nervous system just agrees with it. It's more subtle changes in routines so that gradually you turn into that person that you're trying to become. And that can be, for example, like habit tracking. Me personally, I brought it up in my last video. I'm focusing on one habit right now, and that's waking up on time. And that's for the sole purpose of having more time to myself. But I'm starting very small. I'm not starting at the exact time that I want to wake up because it's too early. And yeah, it's just an example of being more realistic with what I expect myself to do. And I don't know. It's like the book Atomic Habits. You start with one tiny action, and then once that becomes your normal, you move on to the next. Last part on self-compassion, I think it's reading what's going on internally, naming what you're feeling without judging it, without feeling a need to fix it right away, allowing yourself to feel what you feel. My previous phase, I would say that I do that, but it was in a bypassing way. I would just push it aside and say, oh, that's not me. Real me wouldn't feel sad right now. Real me wouldn't feel angry right now. That's not who I really am. But in truth, it's who your brain body has been trained to be. So technically it is part of who you are. But anyways, you can find so many other videos on whatever I'm talking about. Next point, this is something that I'm learning right now. I was journaling like an hour ago. Befriending the unknown came up. And it's basically using the unknown to my advantage, using the fact that I don't know everything as an advantage as opposed to a disadvantage or a setback. The mind likes to think and plan linearly when life doesn't. And so to approach it, plan to reach your goal, like have an action plan, but don't be restricted to that. Leave room for the infinite possibilities that can occur. In an ideal situation, when you're just allowing life, flowing with life, following your plan, things can happen unexpectedly in a way that benefits you. that you would have never thought of. Never thought of. Sorry. Past me would have been totally up to the unknown and not plan anything, but now I plan, but I don't restrict my outcome to the frame of reference, which is my plan. I'm going to be more open to, I don't know, things working out better than I thought. And so, yes, that's what I mean by befriending the unknown. Oh, and I guess the last point is kind of related. Planning is important. Not leaving it to, this is pertaining manifestation, not leaving it totally up to the unknown. Having the universe take the wheel. You have say in how your life plays out. I'm talking to my past self. So don't ignore planning just because there are infinite possibilities, just because things can go good, doesn't mean that it will go good if you don't prepare for it. Yeah, I feel like that was a major piece that I was leaving out. Like I guess I just wasn't taking accountability for the things that I want, getting to where I want to be. I guess in retrospect, going to that extreme of fully trusting the universe to the point where I let go of anything and don't plan anything, versus an extreme that I've experienced way in the past where I didn't trust the universe and I had to plan everything and do everything myself. Find myself in a happy medium where, like I said in my second point, plan, but I'm open to things working out better. And that's really it. I feel like I could have more things that I can pull from my previous phase, but those are the three I want to just talk about right now. Moving forward, what I'm doing right now, habit tracking, like I said in my last video, I think planning more, obviously. I'm starting off with like the next 3 months. And I'm involving my visualizing aspect that I learned, where I focus on the feeling of what I would feel in my ideal reality, but still planning. I don't know. I think it's all like the YouTube stuff and like the energetic readings that I would watch and tarot readings that I would watch that led me to believe that things would work out solely if I just focused on feeling good. But practicing the self-compassion, we learn from that. And then another thing that I've been working on is trying to be more social. I feel like I've been so internally focused, and with this whole like reframe on life, I now have a desire to be more externally focused and just talk to more people and not be so self-centered. I feel like this past phase forced me to be self-centered and had me believe that being self-centered is important. It is important, but the world doesn't belong. The world doesn't revolve around me in the way that I think. Reality is shaped by who I am. But if that's the case, we have what, 8 billion realities that's going on at the same time? I don't know. What's the reason why I would want to be more social? I don't know. I think the fact that there are people out there that think the same way that I do intrigues me. One thing that's helping me be less, I guess, socially anxious is the concept of being a buyer and not a seller. And it's kind of like determining whether or not the person in front of you is worth keeping a connection with versus trying to prove something. This is getting off topic. So, I mean, that's all I wanted to talk about today. Sorry, it's a different set. Like, I don't know what I was on my last video where I had all these lights set up. I mean, maybe I'll do it again in the future, but this is so much easier. Okay, I think that's it. I'm done. Thank you for your time.